The vast expanse of space, once seen as a peaceful frontier and a symbol of human achievement, is now transforming into something far more contested and dangerous. In recent years, this seemingly tranquil domain has become a front in a shadowy conflict, where the rules are unclear and the stakes are higher than ever before. Far above our heads, a secret war is quietly unfolding. According to UK Space Command, Russia is persistently targeting British military satellites, engaging in a campaign of harassment and intimidation that rarely makes headlines but has serious implications for global security. These attacks are not isolated incidents. They happen on a weekly basis, marking a dramatic shift in international relations. Space, once a realm of cooperation, is now being turned into a potential battlefield, where every move is closely watched and every action could have far-reaching consequences. By deliberately targeting the UK's small but vital fleet of satellites, Russia is sending a clear message. These satellites are essential for military communications, navigation, and intelligence gathering. Disrupting them could cripple military operations and threaten national security, not just for the UK, but for its allies as well. The escalation of this shadow conflict began in earnest with Russia's invasion of Ukraine. That event didn't just spark a ground war, it also linked terrestrial conflict to a new, strategic competition in orbit, where satellites play a crucial role in modern warfare. What we're witnessing is a form of gray zone warfare, actions that fall short of open conflict but are designed to intimidate, destabilize, and undermine adversaries. It's a dangerous game, where the boundaries are blurred and the risks are immense. And it's not just the UK in Russia's crosshairs. Germany has reported similar Russian behavior, with their own satellites being shadowed and threatened. This reveals a coordinated strategy by Russia to pressure multiple Western nations simultaneously, testing their resolve and their ability to respond. The message from Moscow is unmistakable. Russia sees space as a critical domain for projecting power, and it is prepared to challenge its adversaries wherever it can, even in the most remote reaches of orbit. The cosmos, once a symbol of unity and exploration, is now a stage for geopolitical confrontation. As nations race to secure their assets and defend their interests, the future of space and the security of those who depend on it hangs in the balance. Russia's main tactics are stalking and jamming. Russian satellites maneuver close to UK satellites, gathering intelligence and signaling hostile intent. This shadowing is aggressive, probing the UK's space infrastructure. On the ground, Russian systems attempt to jam UK military satellites weakly, disrupting communications and surveillance. The UK's satellites use anti-jamming tech, frequency hopping, and directional antennas to counter these attacks. Still, the persistence of these attempts is alarming. Stalking provides Russia with intelligence to refine its jamming, while jamming tests the UK's defenses. This dual approach is sophisticated, exerting pressure without physical destruction. It's modern hybrid warfare: disrupt, degrade, and demoralize, without firing a shot. Russia's aggression is part of a larger, accelerating space race. The US, China, and Russia now operate hundreds of military satellites, dwarfing the UK's fleet. In the last decade, Russian and Chinese military satellites have surged by 70%. Space is now a critical warfighting domain, essential for intelligence and communication. The orbital environment is crowded. 45,000 tracked objects, 9,000 active satellites, and hundreds of launches each year. Congestion raises the risk of collisions and makes it harder to spot threats. In this clutter, hostile acts like stalking are easier to hide. Defense organizations must stay vigilant to protect national assets in this complex domain. The space race now includes weapons designed to disable or destroy satellites. Russia and China have tested direct-ascent missiles and are developing directed energy weapons like lasers. There's concern Russia could place a nuclear device in orbit to generate an electromagnetic pulse, disabling satellites en masse. Russia's willingness to use disruptive tech, seen in jamming and stalking, makes it a pressing threat. The old view of space as a sanctuary is gone. Every satellite is now a potential target. military planners must develop new strategies for defense and deterrence. Protecting space infrastructure is now a top priority. RAF Fylingdales in North Yorkshire is the UK's frontline defense against space threats. Its phased array radar scans the skies 24/7, tracking objects as small as a tin can from 3,000 miles away. The base is heavily fortified, reflecting its strategic importance. In a crisis, Fylingdales would be a prime target, making its security critical. Inside, the 2 Space Warning Squadron monitors data from Allied sensors around the clock. Their mission? Provide early warning of missile attacks and track objects in orbit. Fylingdales stands as a silent sentinel, guarding the UK's high frontier. Nestled in the heart of the North York moors, RAF Fylingdales radar pyramid stands as a silent sentinel, its distinctive structure instantly recognizable against the landscape. Within these walls lies the operations room, the nerve center of the United Kingdom's space defense efforts, where every second counts and vigilance never sleeps. Here, highly trained RAF personnel work around the clock, monitoring a constant stream of global data, analyzing information from space and Earth alike. Their systems are directly linked to a vast network of US satellites and sensors, forming a crucial alliance that enhances both nations' security. Thanks to this advanced technology, the team can detect missile launches anywhere in the world within a minute, providing precious warning time to respond to threats. The team routinely tracks missile launches, analyzing trajectories and potential impacts, ensuring that no hostile action goes unnoticed. This includes monitoring real-world events, such as Russian missile strikes into Ukraine, where rapid detection and analysis are vital for Allied response. But Fylingdales' mission extends far beyond missile warning. It plays a vital role in space situational awareness, tracking not just threats, but the entire environment above our planet. The radar system keeps tabs on thousands of objects in orbit, from active satellites to fragments of space debris, mapping the ever-changing landscape of the high frontier. This data is essential for preventing catastrophic collisions and for spotting unusual behavior, such as Russian satellites stalking or shadowing others, which could signal hostile intent. Operators must quickly interpret vast amounts of complex information, using their expertise to distinguish genuine threats from routine space activity. Their ability to identify and assess potential dangers ensures that the UK and its allies remain one step ahead in the ever-evolving domain of space. This tireless vigilance forms a critical, often unseen layer of national security, protecting not just the UK, but the interests of its partners around the globe. Every day, these dedicated men and women stand guard over the high frontier, ensuring that space remains a safe and secure domain for all. The UK's space security relies heavily on its alliance with the United States. The radar at Fylingdales is US-owned and maintained, highlighting this dependency. For missile defense, the UK depends on the US and NATO, lacking its own interception capability. This asymmetry is a vulnerability. If US priorities shift, the UK could be exposed. Recognizing this, the UK is pushing to strengthen its sovereign space and missile defense capabilities. The goal: become a more capable, balanced partner, not just a dependent ally. By investing in independent systems, the UK can reduce vulnerabilities and strengthen the transatlantic bond. Building resilience is now a strategic imperative. The UK is taking significant steps to address and close its growing space security gap, recognizing that the future of national defense increasingly depends on what happens far above the Earth's surface. As the world becomes more reliant on satellites for communication, navigation, and intelligence, the risks posed by hostile actions in space are rising. British defense leaders are now prioritizing space as a critical domain, alongside land, sea, and air. New investments are being directed toward advanced sensors and detection systems designed to spot and identify threats such as high-powered lasers, signal jamming, and even physical attacks on satellites. These technologies will help the UK monitor the increasingly crowded and contested space environment, providing early warning of suspicious activity. The aim is not just to passively track objects in orbit, but to actively protect British satellites. This means developing the ability to maneuver satellites out of harm's way, respond to attacks, and ensure that vital space-based services remain uninterrupted even during crises. Plans include deploying more robust and agile satellites, equipped with enhanced defenses against both electronic and cyber attacks. Strengthening cybersecurity is a top priority, as hackers and hostile states increasingly target satellite networks to disrupt military and civilian operations. However, funding remains a major challenge. Currently, the UK allocates just 1% of its defense budget to space initiatives, significantly less than France or the United States, both of which have made space a much higher priority in their military spending. General Tedman, a leading voice in British defense, warns that this level of investment is simply not enough to counter the rapidly evolving threats in space. He stresses that without increased resources, the UK risks falling behind its allies and adversaries alike. To close the capability gap and reduce reliance on the United States for space security, the UK must significantly boost its investment in both technology and infrastructure. This will ensure greater independence and resilience in the face of emerging challenges. Investing in space security is also about preparing for the future. It means supporting new technologies, fostering innovation, and training the next generation of space operators, scientists, and engineers who will safeguard Britain's interests in orbit for decades to come. The future of UK space security depends on decisive action now. By making bold investments and strategic choices today, Britain can secure its place as a leader in the new space age and protect its people, assets, and allies from threats that are no longer science fiction, but a reality of modern defense. Protecting UK satellites is vital for the nation's economy and security. Nearly $450 billion of the UK economy depends on space-based services, navigation, finance, weather, and more. Disruption would have immediate cascading effects across society. For the military, satellites are the nervous system, enabling communication, navigation, and intelligence. Without secure access to space, the UK's military effectiveness would collapse. As adversaries invest in counter-space weapons, the UK's small fleet grows more vulnerable. Securing the high frontier is a necessity, not a luxury. The stakes are too high to ignore. Space must be protected, or the UK risks being left in the dark.